Life goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that.
Hello and welcome to Rollercoasting with me, your host, Megano. Happy Thursday. And almost Friday. Thursday is the new Friday. That has been my new quote that I live by. Thursdays to me are generally the new Friday. I was just telling Murray here how I'm going to have a nice wee night out on Thursday. Why the heck not? Life is for living. But how we all doing? Let's have a wee catch up. This weekend, I just got back from Manchester approximately like 2 hours ago, 2/3 hours ago. Had a very spontaneous trip down to Manchester, as we now know, because I feel like I've said it 1,001 times. Promise I will stop banging on eventually. But as we now know, my boyfriend lives in Manchester, so I have been spending a lot of time down there. I'm like a yo-yo, I'm up and down, back and forth to Manchester, but I'm not complaining. I bloody love the place. Yesterday was Monday, I went to, my jaw just cracked so loudly, that was crazy. I went to a fitness class, Barry's boot camp. You would have seen it probably over Instagram. Oh my God, I would consider myself to be not particularly fit as a fizzle, but quite fit. Can normally complete a gym class and, get through it. But yesterday, wow. Safe to say I was absolutely humbled by Big Barry, but I will be back. It was fantastic. I'm loving my time in Manchester. It's like a wee dual life. It's really giving Hannah Montana and Miley Stewart. I'm Miley Stewart here in Glasgow and Hannah Montana, or maybe it would be the other way about. It would probably be the other way about. It's like I'm Hannah Montana here because I'm doing, all my work stuff, my podcast stuff, and then when I go to Manchester, I'm just going to my wee gym classes and walking about sometimes on my own with my headphones in, world out. So as I said, it was a very spontaneous trip to Manchester. Honestly, wasn't meant to go. A boyfriend actually came here to see me this weekend, but the whole weekend, and I am not complaining. I had a fantastic time. The whole time we spent it with other people. People just can't get enough of us. Everyone wants a piece. Hey, you can't blame them. But we spent the whole time with friends, then we spent some time with his family, which was so nice. So by the time he was about to go home, I was like, we have spent literally no time together. And his train was in like 1 hour to go back to Manchester. And I said, I kind of wish I was coming. He said, why don't you come? And I said, frick it, I will. So that was great. I mean, that's one of the many benefits of my job. I mean, if I had, a normal... Not normal. Normal's the wrong word. If I had an office job that required me to be in the office 9 a.m. on a Monday, that wouldn't have worked. So thank you, influencing gods, for some extra time I'm getting with my boyfriend. Much appreciated. But back to meeting friends. This was a big weekend. My boyfriend met Nadine. I speak about Nadine all the time as well. Remember, she came out to Women in Hong Kong. But he met Nadine, and that was, for me, a huge deal. Like, I have realised over time, through trial and error, shall we say, that it is vital to me that my best friends not only like my boyfriend, like not only think, okay, yeah, he's nice, I get why they're together, they need to be best friends as well. Like they need to have a strong relationship. And I think that's because with my best friends, I have strong relationships with their boyfriends. So why can't I have the same? So that is one of my non-negotiables. I have definitely been in situations before where that wasn't in reach. And I've decided that's not for me. However, after the first meeting, I feel like that is an achievable goal. So, yippee! On the topic of friends... Did I speak about friends? Yeah, I did. I spoke about Nadine. On the topic of friends, I thought this week, my jaw keeps cracking so loud. I wonder if you can hear that through the mic. Anyway, jaw exercise. Wah. On the topic of friends, this week I thought we could talk about friendships. I would argue that navigating your way through friendships, that was such a mouthful, navigating your way through friendships in your 20s is arguably one of the most difficult things. Like, I have definitely had my fair share of, fallouts and heartbreaks from friends. We're not talking about boys. Fallouts and like friendship changes. It is a very, very tricky topic. And why is that in your 20s? Well, I don't know, because I only have experience in my 20s. It might be like this in your 30s as well. Let's hope not, because I'm absolutely exhausted. I think it happens in your 20s because everything changes in your 20s. Like, when I think of myself at 20 years old versus now at 26 years old, I'm like, there's like no similarities. I am a different person. My life is very different. Like, my circle around me is, well, there's some of the OGs are definitely still there, and they'll always be there, but things are very different. And I think that's because, life changes a lot. Like, maybe people take jobs that, like, it's like just a different setup. Like, you might work completely different hours from each other. People might move away, which definitely keeps happening. Can my friends stop leaving the country, please? Quite selfish, actually. For you all to leave Glasgow. People, get in relationships and naturally drift away. People get married. People have babies. Some of my friends are married and have babies. Like, what? Slow it down. Why are we growing up so fast? It's terrifying. Loads of different things happen in your 20s, and you're no longer just like at school and la-di-da-di-da and all living like this harmonious lifestyle. Like, in your 20s, life is right there biting you in the bum, and sometimes that causes friendships to fade. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be for specific reasons, like anything I just mentioned. Also, people just change. Like I said, like, I've probably changed slightly over the years. I mean, not dramatically. I've always been, someone who gets really drunk and does the splits on nights out and breaks bones. Some things never change, hey? But, as you get older, like, your priorities change, your morals change, your interests change, and that just naturally causes people to drift apart. So it is definitely a tricky time, and it can be very difficult to navigate. And I thought that's what we could talk about today, is friendships. I don't know where I was going with that. It's just friendships. So this week, well, actually not this week, it was literally today on the train. The train this morning. This week has just crept up on me. Like, I can't believe, actually, no, sorry, I think one of the hairs from my cardigan's on my nose. Or maybe it's just my own nose hair. What I really want to do is, one, to myself, and two, to my boyfriend, is wax nostrils. That looks extremely satisfying. One thing about me is I'm obsessed with the little bulbs that a hair comes out of. I don't know if people will relate to this, but if you get waxed, you will. Like, see, if you get waxed and all the hairs in a wax strip, there's loads of like little bulbs where the hairs came from, and I'm so strange, but when I get a wax, I'm like, can I see those bulbs? I think it's so fascinating. Anyway, that was weird. But where was I again? Oh, on the train. So on the train this morning, I put up a story, and ideally for Megano's mail today, I was looking for friendship related questions, dilemmas, queries, worries, rants, whatever. So, sorry for the quick turnaround on that. Just brain fart. So let's see what we have in Megano's mail. Da, da, da. Let me take out Megano's mailbox phone. Remember, you can send anything to Megano's mail on WhatsApp. The number is on screen now, and I'm also going to read it out for you. 07961 281 791. So it is on screen now, but for my audio listeners only, I will say it one more time. I hope you've got a pen and paper handy. It is 07961 281 791. It is available for you whenever you want it to be. You can send in anything at all, but I will probably most weeks say specifically looking for this, just to give you a wee sense of direction. So, as I said, this week it was friendships. Okay, let's dive into Megano's mailbox. Hey Megan, obsessed with you. Oh, thank you, obsessed with you too. Bit of advice, please. Sure, that's what I'm here for. My best friend of a few years has got a new girlfriend, and she won't leave her alone. I'm 25 and she's 27. I live with my boyfriend, and we bought our first home when we was 22/23 last year. Well done, slay. She lives with her parents, and she has been single throughout our friendship. She's always been very needy with me, messages a lot, and wants to see me all the time. She's been in and out of dating a few girls, all ended with her being interested and them not, sadly. Oh, that's so sad. But then she's been very needy, full on, so I expect this from her, but ... Oh, but with everyone, she's been very needy and full on, so I expect this from her, but ... She's now found a new girl. After 2 weeks of knowing her, she made it official, and now I haven't seen her for a month. Oh, Jesus. Get very short replies from her a few times a week because she's with/talking to her new girlfriend. I'm not sure what to say to her. I've tried to make plans, but she doesn't want to cement anything in case she sees her new girlfriend. Oh, it's like she wants to be available 24/7 if she messages/wants to see her. She's let me down with plans on the day too. I don't have a huge group of friends, so feeling a bit strange without her around. Aw. How to deal with friends that are obviously around for convenience or their benefit, and how to make friends as a 25-year-old. So I would say the gist of this here is you have your best friend and she's always been very needy, always wants to see you, always there. But now she's finally got into a relationship after maybe struggling to get into a relationship when she maybe wanted to be. She's now in one and it's just all been a bit of a whirlwind, and she's really, really obsessed and given all her time. It's like she's just marking off the full calendar to be there when the girlfriend wants to see her. I don't think she is just your friend because of convenience. I think what's happened is she's just got her love goggles on. You know, she's finally in the relationship she's wanted to be in. So maybe she's just like a wee bit like obsessed with it, and I genuinely do think in time she will come out of that. I'm not saying it's okay, because that is shit for you, especially if you've always been there for her, but I do think this is a phase. I don't think this will last forever. You know what it's like? It's like when you're a kid and you get a new toy, you'll play with that every day for a week, and then you'll forget about it. You'll chuck it to the side with all your other Barbie dolls that you don't play with anymore. I'm not saying your friend will chuck her girlfriend away like a Barbie doll. Hopefully she doesn't. But I do think this is just like a really new and exciting period, and I think everyone's a bit guilty of this. I can't be guilty of this because my boyfriend doesn't live in the same country as me, so phew for all my friends. You know who would have a problem with that? Nadine. But I've definitely done it in the past, like when I've been much younger. You know, it's just like so exciting, and it's a shiny new toy. So I do think that's what's happening. But I also think there's no harm in you saying to her, hey, what the frick is going on? I would send a nice text. Really, don't dance around the subject. Like, get straight to the point and you know, speak from the chest. But I wouldn't go in like all guns blazing. I would just be like, look, how's you and Samantha? Our name's not Samantha, I've made this up. Remember, everyone is anonymous here. How's Samantha? So happy that you're happy. I must say though, I've not seen you in ages, and I feel like you've got all the time in the world for Samantha, but what about me, your buddy old pal? Should we go out and do something? And if at that point she says no, then be like, right, well that's actually pretty shit. Sadie again is a fake name. And just say, look, I've been here for you all this time. It wasn't that when, you know, other situationships wouldn't work out. I was there. Like, you can't just kick me to the curb. But like, oh, okay, I get you want to make loads of time for Samantha, and that's fine, and I'm really happy for you. But don't forget your roots. Don't forget the ground you grew from when you were just a young tree. But also, you said as well, you don't have a large circle of friends. Not many people do. I actually Googled it today because I knew that this was a topic. And apparently, friendships when you're 25 onwards, sorry for all my over categories. You know, if we were on the X Factor, I'd be in the overs category. What? When I used to watch the X Factor and they'd announce the overs, I was like, oh, the old fogies are on, not really interested. Now I am the old fogey. That's terrifying. Good thing I can't sing and the X Factor doesn't exist. Apparently, I mean, this is just what Google said, but apparently 25 and onwards, most friendships crumble. And people don't have big circle of friends. That's a very dim note. But I wouldn't stress about not having a large circle of friends, because apparently it's not that common. But to make new friends, I would go and do things that you would like your friends to do. For example, if you really enjoy making pottery, go to a pottery class and you'll find other people who like making pottery, and one of them might be your best friends. Or maybe it's not something as crazy as making pottery. Is that crazy? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It might be, you know, going to like a book club. It could be anything. There's loads of like little events these days popping up that are like for girls to go and meet. Like, you could go on Facebook and find that, like wherever it is you live, you'd be able to find one of these like wee events, and that's how people make friends. So you could do that, but I think you and Samantha will be fine. She just needs to come out of that wee like sort of honeymoon phase. But definitely let her know how you're feeling. Honesty is the best policy. Dilemma. It's a long one in this emoji. That's fine. We like a long Megano's mail over here. I'm just sometimes not very good at reading them, but here we go. So, me and one of my best friends, let's call her Jane. Sure. Hey, Jane. Again, not real name, have been more or less inseparable since we both ended our long-term relationships about 2 or 3 years ago. We spent most nights together, always saw each other, went on nights out, holidays, etc. She has a new boyfriend and has done since quickly after the breakup. Oh yeah. Whereas I stayed single for the best part of 2 years. Now that I've found somebody, I couldn't be any happier. Aww. I get treated like a literal princess. So super spoiled. Just feel like the luckiest girl. So I have been spending less time with my friends, mainly due to the fact I'm not wanting to go out every weekend. I have heard from my longest bestie that Jane has been saying stuff like, oh, her and her boyfriend are always doing something, he's always buying her stuff, it's a bit much, etc, etc. Just really negative things which have made me pull away from the friendship more. I should really approach the situation and ask her, but I don't want to throw my friend under the bus for telling me, yeah. And I can't actually be bothered with the argument that could potentially come along with it. Sorry it's a long one, but hope you can give me some words of wisdom. P.S. I love the pod. Thank you. Okay, this is kind of like almost, not necessarily, but this is sort of like a reverse of the last one. So you and your best friend, you and Jane, great friends. You both split up with your boyfriends at the same time, said, fuck boys, let's just go out and have lots of fun. You spent on holidays, nights out, ghetto plan after ghetto plan, bus, club, not a club. That's a Kourtney Kardashian reference. Yous were the best of friends, and you stayed single for 2 years, but Jane got in a relationship quite soon after. So things must have continued. Like, if yous have been inseparable since then Jane, albeit in a new relationship, is still continuing to go out and, you know, go on these nights out and go on holidays and stuff, whereas your approach is maybe just a wee bit different because you're so happy and you're wanting to pull away from that a wee bit more. Neither of them is right or wrong. That is just preference. I can understand that Jane probably just misses you, and that's what it comes down to. I don't think she's meaning to hurt your feelings, and when she's been negative to your friends, that is negative. I agree. Saying like, oh, it's a bit much that he's always buying her stuff. Jane, why do you care? Be happy that she's getting new things. That is the nice thing to do here. But I understand that that's probably like a mask of saying like, oh, it's a bit much, instead of just being like, do you know what, I pure miss her. I really miss her. That's her got her protective coat on. And she needs to take the protective coat off and just be a bit more vulnerable. So I think the best thing to do here is to have the open and honest conversation that you said you should have. And I know that you don't want to throw your other friend under the bus for her telling you that, but you don't need to. Hey, who said anyone told you anything? Just say your gut is telling you that she's been off with you. Because see, me and my mum, we have a sixth sense. So I wouldn't even need to be told. I would just know. Like, I know when someone's been off with me. See, if I say to someone, are you okay? And they say, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, why are you lying? I literally know. My sixth sense is telling me you're been off. So cut the bullshit, honey, and just tell me what's wrong. And that's what you can do with Jane. Just be like, something is off. I can sense it. And I think all she needs is for you to approach it with her, and I think she'll just let it all out. I don't even think she'll be like, no, I'm not. No, I think she wants to tell you that she misses you and she wants you to spend more time with her, and I think that's all it's going to take. And if you're not wanting to go out on loads of nights out anymore or go on like single holidays or whatever it may be, because I get that when some people are in relationships, they like to dial it back a wee bit. Some people, like, you know, if they get in relationships, don't want to be going out in town every week and doing whatever. Fair. That's absolutely fine. So you could say, look, I'm maybe not up for going on all these nights out anymore because maybe some annoying boys are approaching you when you are a taken lady. You could be like, but instead, how about we go out for a nice meal? Instead, how about you come round to Manx and we can have a wee movie night, we can have a wee glass of wine, we can get a takeaway. You can still do things together that you no, You can still do things together, spend quality time together, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the things that you used to do when you were single if you no longer feel comfortable doing those things. But I would say that friendships are so important in life. Relationships can come and go, trust me. So you really want to hold your friends tight. Your friends will always be there for you no matter what. So you will sort this out, and I'm sure you will come to a mutual gorgeous agreement. And I don't think you will argue over it. I don't. I think you both really care about each other, and you were great friends. And I think it just needs an honest, open and honest conversation. Good luck. Hello. Absolutely love your podcast and how easy it is to listen to with complete ease. Thank you for being a ray of sunshine. That's really nice. Thanks so much. My friendship dilemma is my friend is great. Good news. But the last 18 months dropped me like a hot toddy for others. My dad always calls me a toddy. That's a potato for anyone who's not Scottish. Sorry. Anyway, and having other friends is absolutely 100% okay. I'm all here for that. But forgets what she has and hasn't told me. Okay. She's been in a not great relationship for the last 10 months or so, and I've only known parts through what another friend told me, and she's forgetting she's barely broke breath about it. Long story cut short, the guy is bad news in capital and a newspaper emoji. I love the use of emojis. Despite this and him being controlling and dictating, oh God, who she can speak to, she decided to fall out with several people to please him. Oh God. After being rude and horrible, she thinks it's okay to have a normal conversation with me, but it's just not my nature to push her away or ignore her. She's now gotten away from him after an awful time with it, but now wanting me to be there, but she keeps cancelling organised plans. Am I a bad person for now getting sick of being dropped out like a hot toddy? I know she's been to hell and back, but there's only so many times a gal can try. I've enjoyed my drama-free bubble whilst we've been more distant, and I don't know if it's me being a bad friend or not. SOS, how do you even handle this? First of all, I definitely wouldn't say you're a bad friend. The thing is, and I have been on the receiving end and the not receiving end, delivering end. That sounds kind of weird. Of this, right? Like, I've had issues in my life, not particularly like that, but I've maybe had like an issue that has stayed an issue for months and months and months, and I've chewed the ear off my friends, and they're probably thinking, not this again, shut it please. And I have been on the receiving end as well, and it is draining and it is hard. I get it. I really do, but I do think that's what friends are for. I understand. No, she shouldn't be cancelling plans. No, that's rude. Anyone who cancels plans, especially on the day, unless it is for a valid reason, that's really shit. I give people like two strikes and you're out. Kidding on, they're not actually out. But one time, okay, fair enough. If it happens a second time, you're going to get a red card. Strike 3 times and you're out. Bye. See ya. No, I don't really do that. But that in my head, that's what I would do. With this situation, I think, as frustrating as it is, I get that, and I don't think you're a bad friend at all. I really, really don't. But you did say she's been to hell and back. And you know what? It happens to the best of us. We all get trapped up with someone that we know is bad news, but the heart wants what the heart wants. And sometimes the heart wants the wrong stuff, unfortunately. So I would say, right, fair enough. Let's push this one aside. She's been to hell and back. He was a controlling, dictating piece of shit. I don't know the guy. Sorry. I'm just assuming he is. So let's let this one slide, right? But remember, forgive, don't forget, right? So if this happens again, say she meets someone new, similar patterns, she distances herself, she becomes like a bit toxic, falling out of people, just be like, do you know what? This ain't going to work. But I'm going to put this down to she just had one bad experience and she's learnt from it and it won't happen again. I would say to her now, by the way, stop cancelling plans or I'll stop making them with you. That's a threat. You shouldn't threaten people, but that is a threat. You just say that to her. Look, I've stuck by you and I'll continue to do so, but if you keep cancelling plans, I'm not going to make them. Naturally, I'm getting bored. I'm getting tired of this shit. Rebecca, that's not her name. It's a made up name. So, well, I think that's what you should do. I still need to get, oh yeah, I was going to say I need a roller coaster phone case, but I'm going to get one with the number on it. Oh, you know what, I could probably merge the two together. Anyway, my friend keeps going back to dating someone I know won't treat her right, as they've done this time and time again now for over 5 years. Whoa, that is a lifetime. But he's actually an idiot and wasting her time, and I don't want to fall out with her over him. What should I do? This is the classic. This is the absolute classic. Again, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, wore the t-shirt more times than I've liked to have wore the t-shirt. You know, I put it in the wash and it always comes back out fresh, ready to go back on again. Wish the t-shirt would just get wrecked in the wash and never come back. That was a metaphor. It's not actually a real t-shirt. Is that a metaphor? I got an A in higher English, so I should know that. Is that surprising that I got an A in higher English? No, I don't think it is, because I can talk and I can write as well. I wrote this crazy imaginative story, and apparently it gets used as a sample piece in higher English at my school. I don't know if that's true or not. Someone just told me that, but I think it should be, because I'm pretty sure it got close to full marks. It was great. Imagine I could get that and read it on the podcast. Maybe I need to take a trip to my old school. I left school. Oh my God, I thought it was 10 years ago. It wasn't, it was 8. Phew. Anyway, this is a classic situation I think every single girl and probably boy will find themselves in. There's nothing worse than seeing someone you love and care about, your friend, in a relationship or in a situationship. Remember last week, I heart my situationship t-shirt. There's nothing worse than watching them be in something you just know they shouldn't be in. You just want to grab them and shake them and say, leave. I've done it many times, but again, I've also been that person, and it does sometimes cause not arguments as such, but tension. You can just feel the tension. Like, you know, it's a shame because this is examples of the past, or yeah, just examples. Like, say I've been in a situation where things are a bit rocky, not so good. My friends are like, I think you could do better than this. But when there's good times, you feel like you can't talk about the good times to your friend because you're like, I know they don't want me to be with him. And fair enough, because your friends are just looking out for you. But that's where it becomes this just whole tension. I think what I have learned over the years is the only person who can make a decision, the only person who can decide to cut someone off is the person who's in the relationship. Like, let's say that my friend Jemima, I don't have a friend Jemima, let's say my friend Jemima is going out with Roddy, right? And Roddy's a fucking arsehole. We hate Roddy. And I can tell Jemima till she's black and blue in the face, he's an arsehole, he's this, he's that. Unless it clicks for her, she's not going to break up with him. So me constantly yelling down her throat every day, break up with Roddy, fuck Roddy, it isn't going to help her situation. She's already having a bit of a shit time with Roddy. So all you can really do, as hard as it is, trust me, I know it's hard, is support. Is offer your love and support. Be honest where warranted. If she asks your advice, give your honest advice. But I feel like you can't force someone to break up with someone. They need to reach that conclusion on their own, and they will. It might take time. It might take more time than we'd like it to do, but they will. It all works out in the end. So I think you just have to put your seatbelt on and buckle in for the bumpy journey that's ahead. But it should come to an end. I mean, if it's been on for 5 years, it's got to come to an end now. Surely. There is a thing called the 7-year curse. I know that's still 2 years away, but you've done 5. What's 2 more? Apparently the 7-year curse gets most people, so Jemima and Roddy will never make it through that. Hi, Megan. Hello. First off, I just wanted to say you're doing great and I love you, girl. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Okay, so question time. I love the way this is typed. There's lots of emojis and punctuation. I love punctuation. Long story cut short, ... Me and my best friend of roughly 15 years. Wow, that's the same length as me and Nadine. Best friend of roughly 15 years suddenly stopped talking midsummer. Oh, God, I hope that doesn't happen to me, Nadine. The logistics are a lot, so I won't get into it too much. The gist of it is, my ex-boyfriend and her current boyfriend are best friends. Oh, shit. She is still seen spending time with my ex, and it really hurts me considering how things played out. Oh, fair. I've let her know how I feel about this, but she just doesn't seem to understand or care. In my head, if the tables were turned, I would never make her feel this way. However, something tells me that this was bound to happen and that I was already outgrowing her. I don't feel bad for standing my ground, but I do just wonder if that's a silly reason to stop talking to a lifelong friend. I really appreciate that you get a lot of mail, Megan. And thanks so much for taking the time to do this for us. Oh, hey, it's absolutely my pleasure. Is that a silly reason to stop talking to someone of 15 years? Now, this is going to sound brutal, but I would say to the naked eye, yeah. Because that's your best friend of 15 years. Your ex is your ex for a reason. It sounds like he done something shit to you, and I wouldn't let him tarnish anything else in your life. And her boyfriend is best friends with your ex. Extremely, extremely unfortunate. Like, hate that for the friendship gods. I really do. But I understand she's a wee pickle in a jar at the chip shop, you know. What is she meant to do? She kind of has to. I don't like that you told her how you feel and she didn't seem to care. That's shit. Like, if that was me, I'd be like, look, far from ideal, it really is, and I feel bad, like, seeing him. I don't particularly like him after what he done to you, but for my boyfriend's sake, I'm kind of having to just, you know, be the pickle in the jar at the chip shop. So the fact that she didn't seem to care isn't very nice, and that's maybe another layer of the onion of why you fell out. So the first layer of the onion is that she sees your ex. Yeah, not ideal, but I wouldn't say that's worthy falling out of. Second layer of the onion is that she doesn't care that makes you sad. That is something worthy falling out of. And the third layer of the onion, how many layers do onions have? Quite a lot, I think. I have only just learned how to chop an onion, and when I'm trying to pull the skin off, it's like it's never ending, but I don't know if I'm peeling layers of the onion off that you want to eat. But anyway, there's enough onion to go around. I'm only ever cooking for one person. The amount of onion you get from chopping one onion is crazy. God, garlics, can't deal with them. I'll just buy lazy garlic. But lazy garlic. You'll go and see all the wee garlics with wee dresses and heels on next time. Anyway, sorry, tangent. The third and final layer of the onion is you actually feel like you were going to outgrow her anyway. So I think that's what you need to focus on. I think the being friendly with your ex is the catalyst. Wow, great word. Was the catalyst of this fallout. But your gut is telling you that you were going to outgrow her anyway. So upon conclusion, it's my higher English coming out, I don't think that was a silly reason to stop being friends, because there's a few different layers to it. It could be worth one more conversation if you want to have that conversation. But if you're quite at peace with, I think we were going to outgrow each other anyway, I'd just let bygones be bygones. I know you were friends for 15 years, and that's a very, very, very long time. So something like that is always harder to let go of, because you're like, oh, but it was 15 years, like we can't just throw that away. But sometimes that is just what happens. So if the only bit that you care about was how many years you were friends with each other for, then I would just let it fizzle on out. If you care that you miss her and stuff, then that's a whole different ballgame, and I think it's worth another conversation. But yeah, maybe there's a great quote that I was going to finish on, so I will save it. So stay tuned for the great quote, but it'll all make sense. Right, we're going to do one final one. When I sit here, guys, it's like time just fast forwards. I'm having a fantastic time sitting on this yellow couch. Anyway, someone's titled this Friendship. You got the memo, chick. So, my group of girls have been a 4. Sorry, I've read that all up and down. My group of girls have been a 4 since primary school. We're now 25. Wait, my group of girls have been a 4 since primary school, now 25. What, there was 4 of you, now there's 25, or the 4 of you are 25 years old? I'm going to assume it's the latter. We've always had a solid friendship, maybe see each other less as we're older. Yep, it happens, sadly. But always make effort to catch up and go on holidays, etc. Fantastic. This year, we went from 4 of us being single to now all having boyfriends. 2 of us have had different relationships since we were 16 and always make time for the girls as well as being in relationships. But the other 2 girls, for the other 2 girls, this is their first proper relationship. Okay, got you. So there's 4 of you. You're now 25. 2 of you, since being 16, have had different relationships, but that's not affected the friendship. And now all 4 of you are in relationships, but the other 2, this is their first relationship. Got you. All was going good until we went on a night out in July and one of the girls got really drunk and ended up in a massive fight with her boyfriend. This was a month after our girls' holiday where we were talking about being each other's bridesmaids. Since the night out, we hardly seen her until our girls' night in October. She came, but still wasn't giving much to the conversation. We asked why she had been distant, but she became defensive and left shortly after. Cut to the next week where she basically sends a breakup text taking a step back from the group. Oh, the boyfriend is controlling. I'm calling it. She claims it has nothing to do with the boyfriend. You think I'm buttoned up the back? As my dad says. Claimed it's nothing to do with the boyfriend and it's just her adjusting to her new job. Oh, that's coincidental, isn't it? Very coincidental timing. It is just her adjusting to her new job, and we have bumped into the boyfriend who also says who also says he hardly sees her, but we were only asking if she could see us every so often or to reply to the group chat. Since she seems to be meeting with other friends but still has had no contact with us. We're all very confused and hurt, but I feel I should reach out after all this time. But we are finding it hard to know what to do. We have been the ones to reach out multiple times. Would you reach out or just leave her be or even confront her again? Okay, well, that's kind of weird. She's not even seen her boyfriend anymore. Are they still together? Maybe it is the new job. Oh, I don't know. I would confront her one more time. I would not even confront. I would approach one more time. What is one more time? If you've done it this many times, what's one more shot? And then you can say you tried. What I always do in situations like this, like I have had some friendships that have fizzled out for different reasons. And there's one friendship in particular I'm thinking of. This goes back to my time at BT. And I really couldn't understand how it fizzled out. Like I couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm like, what is actually going on here? So I extended the olive branch. Is that the quote? I love olives. I love olives. You know, the best olives are Pirello olives and they come in this wee tin. That's just reminded me I need to order them off Amazon because you get them in like nice Italian restaurants, but you can just order them on Amazon. I need to do an Amazon order actually. Loads of nice stuff I've seen on there. But yeah, I've extended the olive branch a couple of times and that is sometimes you feel like, no, I'm not being the one to reach out again, you know, like pride gets in the way. But what I always take from it is I can say, at least I know I tried. I've exhausted all options. I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, should I have said this? Should I have said that? Nope, I have laid my cards on the table. And if you don't want to play with my cards, then fine. That's all you can do. So I would always recommend people to just try one last time because, you know, what's a quote? Better an oops than a what if. Yeah? Extend the olive branch one last time. If she's not interested, then okay, maybe the friendship is just randomly came to an end. That's a shame you were having literal bridesmaids chats and now you don't even speak, but that can happen. That's life. So, I promised a quote. Now, this is a great quote, although it doesn't really rhyme, but anyway, the quote is, there are 3 kinds of friends in life. Friends for a reason, friends for a season, and friends for a lifetime. And do you know what? I really, really do resonate with that quote and many quotes, as you guys know, although sometimes my quotes are just a bit of a ballpoint off. But I mean well with my quotes. I believe in that because I do think friends for a reason, friends for a season, friends for a lifetime. Why not make the last one rhyme? Do you know what I mean? Like the first 2 is so strong, then it's like lifetime. That doesn't rhyme. Anyway, I do think that sometimes you might make a friend, say you make a friend when you go to college and they're your friend through college, but then when you leave, you're not friends anymore. Well, they were your friend for a season because that whole college experience, you had each other and you have just, you're like little caterpillars in college and you slittered around together. And then when he's left college and had your HNC, you just flew off like butterflies. And you served each other well. And it doesn't mean that things ended badly. It's just you were friends for a season. Friends for a reason. Maybe the reason was to teach you something. Maybe the reason was, for greater findings in life. Maybe you learn from your own mistakes, their mistakes, and that will set you forward with further friendships. And then you've just got the friendships for a lifetime. And I can confidently say there's people in my life who I know are going nowhere. And that doesn't need to be like a huge bunch of people. It can be one person, two people, but you'll just know when you've got a friend for a lifetime. So that's a great quote. So don't beat yourself up. If any of these friendships were to end or fizzle out, just remember that quote. They might have just been your friend for a reason or a season. Well, guys, that brings us to the end of the friendship episode. Thanks so much, anyone who sent in Megano's mail. Really appreciate it. Really heavily rely on it, to be honest. So thank you so much for pulling through, my kings and queens out there. Remember, you can send in to Megano's mail whenever you want. The number will be on screen right now. And I will see you next week. Thanks so much for listening. You can watch full-length videos on YouTube. Please remember to like and subscribe, and you can find short clips on TikTok, short clips on Instagram, and you can of course have audio only wherever you get your podcast. I will see you next week, and I love you all very much.